I guess this is fine. Louis will just be in the background. Hi, me. It is January 2nd. We've been taking care of our nose and not going crazy with blood and everything, so woo, good on that. Let's talk about adaptations. So, in looking at adaptation study, the main thing about it is that if you have a piece of work and it is then adapted, the adaptation will affect the piece of work that it is adapting and any future adaptation, no matter if it's adapting from the original or adapting from the first adaptation. For example, if you take the Hunger Games and you take the book that I don't have over here because it's in the living room, and you look at how Katniss is described, she's described as having olive skin tone with dark hair and darker colored eyes. And you adapt the Hunger Games and cast Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss. All of a sudden, Katniss is now blonde with white skin and I think blue eyes? No, her eyes are brown. I can't remember. The point is that if you go back and read the Hunger Games after you've watched the adaptation or heard anything about the adaptation, you're going to struggle with imagining Katniss as anyone other than Jennifer Lawrence. In the event that the Hunger Games gets remade in the next 2 decades, because with the track that Hollywood's on, that's likely, it's going to be a struggle for readers of the first book to see Katniss as anyone other than Jennifer Lawrence or whoever that other person will be. And because Katniss was adapted to be a white woman, it's likely that in that second adaptation, she'll be another white woman. Just because that's the nature of adaptations. If it happens in the first one, it will affect the decisions made in the second one. We see this with plays and everything. 6 characters in search of an author, I believe, is what I was looking at. The writer for that, I can't remember his name, wrote in the direction notes in the actual play things that were so very specific. And when it was first being shown on stage, he had specific things that he liked and he didn't like. Well, he's since died and also was a fascist. So, that's another topic. But he had things that he did like and he didn't like. One of them is that he didn't necessarily like mirrors or photography in his own personal life. I believe I'm remembering the right author. But there is an adaptation that makes use of the mirrors that were in on the stage when that adapter was adapting. I wish I had the exact names for it. I don't remember them anymore. This is from college. And I'm bringing this up because adaptation theory is important to the essay that I'm going to finish writing on Winx Club. And I'm going to explain this in further detail, but we can take each different art style change of Winx Club as an adaptation of Winx Club. So the first 3 seasons are the original, then I think it's the next 2 go for a flash animation, and that's a different art style and it changes how the characters look, and that goes on further and further, and that can explain certain things like what they've done with Musa and with Flora. Adaptation theory is fun. I love you. Good night.